Today was a towering day for justice. As we saw, Ghislaine Maxwell was sentenced to 20 years in prison for the crimes she committed against these survivors and so many others. Today showed us that individuals can be held accountable irrespective of power and privilege. And today showed us that the chorus of voices of these survivors prevailed and showed accountability. It's really a victorious day for justice.
We have resisted speaking to you throughout the pendency of this case out of respect for the rules of the court. But as you can see now, the mask is off. Our client, Ghislaine Maxwell, has been vilified, pilloried, and it left little room for her to be treated fairly, because even before she stepped forward into this courthouse, she was being tried and convicted in the court of public opinion. Ghislaine will appeal this case, and we are confident that she will prevail on appeal. We all know that the person who should have been sentenced today escaped accountability, avoided his victims, avoided absorbing their pain, and receiving the punishment he truly deserved. Clever and cunning to the end, Jeffrey Epstein left Ghislaine Maxwell holding the whole bag. Ghislaine Maxwell is a truly extraordinary person. She has been sentenced to an extremely long term of imprisonment for a 60-year-old woman who has shown no involvement whatsoever in criminal activity for the better part of the past 20 years, or anything before the conduct of conviction.
So just to say that we have nothing to add to the very heartfelt statement that Ghislaine gave in court, and nothing to add to the comments that she made about the victims, and her sincere hope that the trial, her conviction, and this sentencing will allow the victims some closure. Just to echo what Bobbi Sternheim has said, Ghislaine will be exercising her right to appeal her conviction and sentence, and we, the family, will be solidly behind her all the way. Thank you very much.
May this sentence demonstrate that it is never too late for the truth to come out and never too late for there to be accountability. If you're someone who's experienced sexual abuse or exploitation and did not feel safe to report those crimes, or were not believed when you did, or were told that the perpetrators would not be held accountable, this is for you. There's still a lot of work to be done on this issue, but in this fight we need to celebrate the victories, and today this is a big victory. The truths about these crimes, about child sexual abuse and exploitation, are deeply uncomfortable. They happen more frequently than we want to acknowledge, and often perpetrators, as we saw in this case, are not strangers in vans. They're the people that live in our communities, and they're people often in positions of power. Maxwell and Epstein were predators who were able to use that power and privilege to harm countless individuals, and for far too long, the institutions that should be protecting the public were instead protecting them. And I still hope that we find out more about how that was allowed to occur.
Annie, how did you feel listening to her in court?
I'll just say one more thing, that her statement felt like a very hollow apology to me. She did not take responsibility for the crimes that she committed, and it felt like once more her trying to do something to benefit her, and not at all about the harm that she had caused.
This is a major victory, not just for Annie Farmer and Kate and some of the others who spoke today, but also for the dozens of other victims. I'm not only involved in this sex trafficking operation, but that are being trafficked worldwide. I think that it sends a really powerful message to conform with the law and to be deterred from engaging in any form of conduct like this, whether you are the facilitator, groomer, perpetrator, whoever you are. Nobody is above the law, and I think that's the message that everybody understands very loud and clear today. I think our system works. It took a long, long time, longer than we wanted it to, but today is a good and positive day and tells us that our country's still intact and our system, it really has worked the right way.
Bill Clinton?
How about Bill Clinton? Look, there's a lot of people that have a lot of information. We've said for a long time, they know things, and they should be speaking, and the time is now. And if they're continuing to not speak, they're hurting victims, they're hurting survivors, they're not helping. So we could sit here and yell out names of a lot of people who have a lot of power and prestige, and they hide behind that and instead don't come forward and just do the right thing like a normal, good human being. There are people that are coward, and I wish that they would come forward, and maybe that's one of them. I can't imagine that anyone was impressed by Ghislaine Maxwell's statement. It was probably the closest thing she's ever come to acknowledgement of anything in her life, but it was passive acknowledgement. She acknowledged somebody else's pain, but not that she caused it. And obviously, she was the perpetrator of the crime. To think that she's being charged for something that Jeffrey Epstein did is arrogant in and of itself. She was charged with the crimes she committed and only a fraction of them.